Good day. My name is Theolan Govender. I'm the regional manager for Afrisam, based in KwaZulu-Natal. A bit of my background: I was born in Isipingo, south of Durban, in KwaZulu-Natal, and when I matriculated and going into the University of Technology, it took me a few years to realize what I wanted to do. And only when I started my first job, I got into a position to think about life and what I needed to do to get up the ranks. And it was a two-way street in terms of having a balanced education at a certain level to getting exposure. So I decided to go on this journey to improve on my education, which I've done from a national diploma to a degree, to my master's, and completing a doctorate study for the passion that has brought me to a point to give back to the community and to the industry as a whole. And moving through the ranks of being an engineer or working towards becoming an engineer, and now moving across into general management around my portfolio with something that I like to do. And that something is working with people at a larger scale, because if you can help one person, why not help 100? And that is a passionate point of mine, and that is why I am here as the regional manager for KZN, and hopefully open other doors so that I can grow more people on a larger scale. My current position is the regional manager of KZN, responsible for two business units, which is the aggregates and ready-mix business units. And I report into the CM operational executive. So this position was really created to have one person looking after two divisions. And it's actually an honor to sit in a position like this. It's very stressful. So that's why I always bring the family delicacy into this, but I've got a real strong family that supports me in terms of this here. And I must say the organization as well, we've got a string of development that I've come through, personally, and it's about giving back to people, because we're not here forever. You're going to soon you'll reach a stage where you're going to retire and you want to leave a legacy behind. And it's important, especially in South Africa, most of our skills are leaving or they're retiring, and we're not bridging that gap. And the younger generation or generations, they don't want to go through these hardships, working on the ground. For us, it's the artisanal level coming up to that area. And without that, you lose that. You can't manage if you don't understand. And by the time you start learning through that, it might be the end of the company. So I really work hard with the people to make sure, whether it's management or down, that you understand what you're talking about in order to solve problems. And you don't get it right all the time. That's why some of the quotes that I shared with Joel, it's very personal to me, because you fail a lot, but eventually you will succeed if you put your mind to it. And always when people come back to me and you look at my education flow, I'm still the same person. The reason why I'm doing a doctorate is to give back to the industry and the community. It's got nothing to do with anyone. It's not going to make me smarter, but it makes me more energetic in terms of my passion. And I think we've done a great job. I'm not the only mentor or coach, but we've developed quite a few youngsters and senior guys into positions that strategically be put in the company, and then also out of the company into other major facets. So I'm proud of them. So from a personal level, a big accomplishment was when my wife and I started and completed our MBAs cum laude, and with our kids being 1 and 3 years old. It's effectively taught us to manage life situations, but still meet academic and work expectations. From a business perspective, developing employee skills in challenging times that our industry faces is no easy feat. However, to have realized the implementation of a development strategy and reaping the positive effects on our employees, whether they were progressed in the organization or gained the relevant skills, make me the most proudest. A wise man once told me, hold yourself responsible for higher standards than anybody else expects of you. Never excuse yourself, never pity yourself, be a hard master to yourself and be lenient to everyone else. So from this phrase, I learned the acts of discipline, resilience, agility, gaining skills and knowledgeable to become more of a transformational leader. A transformational leader is a leader that leads from the back, basically letting your people come up with processes that can reach the end goal and you assist them on the way. As it is only through exploring and conquering the unknown that improves your self-belief and depth of understanding to make better informed decisions. Spending time in the saddle in various technical and general management positions over the years has rounded my portfolio in driving and achieving leadership direction for employees to reach organizational goals. However, at the same time, personal ambitions. I think the biggest thing is, for me, it's more like, my passion with development and trying to bring others up. But from what I've done over a long period, I've done a lot for the business based on people. And I think with my studies that I'm finishing off now, it's really going to help a lot of businesses in tough conditions. So, you look like this, how can I put it? There's a lot of sales that are out there. So KZN is busy, but the rest of the businesses don't have that infrastructure spent. So you got to look at it as a national team and to help each other. So I've learned a lot when we've never had sales. So when you do have the sales now, you got to keep those teams small and, just responsibly bring everyone up. And I think from the time I've been brought here for a reason, it was development and changing the business units around. And it's taken me around 2 years, but we've actually we've surpassed what the business requires. And I think it's a good story to tell people and also to empower them so that they can do the same, just like how we mentors and coach, but they need to look after, like whether it's your customers, whether it's your employees, but we one team here, Look, my whole story, and I think that's one of the reasons why I'm here today, is what I've done is through the people. It's what they say, it's not what Theo says, And a good working machine is, the nice stuff is having good safety figures, good financial figures, etc. But are people happy in what they are doing? And, in times where companies are cutting, etc., we really need to make the people understand, as well as organizations, that we one team. We don't need to look out. We're a well-oiled machine. We just need to pull it together. And I think we've done that successfully. I used to do this in the my engineering department. And now the company has given me a big scale in terms of 2 business units. And we are really doing well. And I'm proud of the team. And that's my journey. And, I hope to grow in that area, working with people and trying to solve problems. People are puzzles, are like puzzles, and you take the different dynamics and you try and sort out a way that we are amicable, but we are achieving goals at the end. Not everyone can follow you, but it's a certain amount of people that will take the business forward. The development of people, especially through their commitment to achieve new levels under distressed economic periods, is what inspires me. The industry remains resilient as the economic outlook gradually improves. However, the psychological relationship between the employee and the employer needs to remain intact and aligned. It is through this inspiration that I have undertaken doctoral research to improve the relationship between the employer and the employee to ensure that organization objectives are achieved, and at the same time, employees are developed and progressed in doing so. The outcomes of this study will assist in developing a transformational leadership model for talent management and psychological contract for the construction materials companies within the South African mining sector. To set the scene to where KZN is in, I would like to start off with the unemployment rate in South Africa. So the recent statistics from Statistics South Africa show that the unemployment rate has increased from 31.9 in quarter 3, 2023 to 32.1% in the last quarter. And the expanded definition has remained more or less the same at around 41%. The expanded definition takes into play people that can work but are not willing to work. And what is the highlight in terms of KZN from this is that KZN has moved the opposite direction, where the employment rate has gone up by around 62,000 people in the construction industry. So there is a massive rollout in infrastructure projects in which most are government-led, economic recovery, job creation, and skills development. Most of the projects are being accompanied with clear guidelines, transparent processes, and supportive policies which would encourage private investment in the infrastructure sector and foster an environment conducive to economic growth. Some of these projects were fast-tracked because of the recent floods during the periods in KZN recently. But these projects include road infrastructure upgrades and widening of our N2 and N3 highways, several key bridges, stormwater management systems, and projects related to Durban and Richards Bay port upgrades. From a logistics perspective, since we're talking about roads and railways, we recently witnessed our president opening the 3.4 billion Newland Park PX Bayhead Rail Terminal site, which was developed in partnership with the private sector and government. I may add that Afrisam was a key concrete supplier for this project. So strategically situated adjacent to the Durban port, these terminals aim to facilitate expanded intra-Africa and domestic trade as well as investment prospects, which is very good for KZN and the country on the whole. For some of us that don't know, KZN is the second largest contributor to the GDP, with their economy sitting at about 16%, just behind Gauteng, which is sitting at 33%. KZN in 2023 has witnessed a high economic upswing characterized by employment growth, investment projects and infrastructural advancements, if I may say. From a KZN business perspective, my thoughts are that it is currently the regions to be in for many skills and trades, and based on the infrastructure forecast that I have read up and I am witness to, I believe that we will be busy for the next 5 to 10 years at least. In order for businesses to reap the best rewards, it is not just about being overwhelmed with high sales, but to manage operations more effectively, bottom line performance, improved on resources and skills upliftment, and improving customer relationships. Organizations also should invest in responsible expansion with incremental growth, reducing unemployment and improving skill development. Yes, I do. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. So that is from Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill was the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom at that time, and we all remember during World War II, he led the army to a potential defeat, however, change it into success. And at that time, when this logo came through, the enemies were breaching the Suez Canal and infiltrating his area, and he had to retreat at that stage, but to fight another day, and eventually he won the war. So if I have to bring it back in terms of what does this mean to me, it emphasizes the idea that both success and failure are not permanent states. Success should not lead into complacency, and failure should not lead into despair. Instead, what truly matters is the courage and the determination to keep moving forward despite the outcomes. It is a reminder to persevere and maintain resilience in the face of both success and failure. I bring this now back to KZN with all the pressures and that we are facing currently, and with the teams that we have to do our best. And even though we fail at times, the sun will shine at the end. And that is a motto that I live by going forward, and especially in times like this, where there is high volumes, and we have to make it happen with smaller teams.